now discussing on Unit 8, Unit 6. So in this Unit 6, we mostly probably look for a way towards storage and indexing. As a part of storage and indexing, we need to look and understand what exactly was the disk architecture. So as far as disk architecture is going to be concerned, it can retrieve random pages at fixed cost. So earlier people used to use these magnetic disks and magnetic tapes. So there the things were totally moved in a sequential order. But when nowadays people are using hard disk, the pen drives or flash disks, etc. So these we call them as the random order. So next comes the file organization. So earlier the tapes we can call it as from first generation computers to the first and second generation computers. They used to use these tapes, and as far as disks are going to be concerned, yeah, they will are going to be the secondary storage devices, and they occurred from the third and fourth and fifth generation. So now fifth generation, yeah, it was at the cloud platform or a fog platform. So this is what the disk structure happens. So in disk structure, people used to go for the random order. So we can call here as a direct access memory. So at what point of time, at what location we want to move, that we can navigate. But as far as tapes are going to be taken up, so they were used in the first and second generation computers. So as they were at first and second generation computers, there the access was totally sequential access. So therefore, uh, based on the disk architecture, based on the tape architecture, the file organization happened. So when we talk about a file organization, so files, they are going to be arranged as some group of records on external storage, etc. So there we have the record ID, that we call it as RIDs, and they are going to be used for physically relocating the record. The next one was to know up regarding the indexes. So why we are going to use for index was to find the record, uh, to see that the search space, within a search space the disk can be happened. So we call here as a index searching, etc. So either in these two types of file organization, the main role will be the buffers. So why this buffer is going to play a main role? Because all the temporary operations what need to be restored over the pages, those they are going to be archived over the buffers. So we need to first work on a buffer. After working on the buffer, then they need to be stored to the external store, to the main memory buffer full. Whatever transactions to do, that it's towards indexing, towards files. So that is the reason why the buffer manager is going to play a key role towards the disk organization. Now, coming to the file organizations, these file organizations, they have a heap organization, a sorted organization, and a indexed organization. So in general, they will be a heap, a sorted, or an index organization. So when coming to the heap organization, we can access the file, or we can retrieve all the records. So the way the heap is going to do that, we are going to call it is in the moment of a random access. And next comes the sorted files, where the sorted files is that we will move the pages in form of a range, in an ascending or in a descending order. So thereby it will be very easy for us to go with retrieving. And the other case was to use the data structure, and that too we can move it towards the trees or a hashing. So either trees or a hashing, yeah, of course they are going to work with this super key or the search key items. The next comes the word called as an indexing. So why we are going to use indexing was for search, that too with high speed. So we need to search the data, and within seconds we need to retrieve the data. So working on 10-20 instances, of course I agree, it is maybe index, may not be index. We will be able to trace those contents. But if it is in 10,000 records or 20,000 records or 1 lakh records, so huge databases are there at that time, like a supermarket or a shopping mall. So at that time it will be very difficult to track up the uh, searching content. So at that point of time, the pointers, the index, they are going to be used. So why we are going to use an index is for file speed up selection. And okay, fine. Now how can I identify a search key? So that is the first more the way of asking up the questions. That is how we are going to make a search key for an index. So we have a relation, so I can call it as a student number, name, and marks. So this is what we call it as a student here, and student is called as a database. Excuse me. Student is called as a database, or student is going to be called as a table, or we can call the student as a relation. So this is the first scenario what we bring up at this point of time. Now I have student number, name, and marks. So these three we call it as an attributes. So attribute 1, attribute 2, and attribute 3. And now we do have some records here. So we call it as row ID 1, row ID 2, and row ID 3. Okay, now let us look at the definition. Any subset of the fields can be the search key for an index. So we can go with student number, I can go with name, or I can go with marks. So anything is okay, but the way of searching will differ from point to point. That is, the search key should be as minimal as possible, and it should be uniquely identified. The search key should be as minimal as possible, and it needs to be uniquely identified. So for that, if I'm going to make this student number as a primary key, so obviously I can make this as a unique item, and as it is going to be unique item, now I can call it as some subset, and we have a speed retrieval of the data. So we have index, it is going to be some collection of data entries, and it is used for the effective retrieval of data called as k star, and which it is going to be given up for the k. So we have the data entries as k star, and we can find the records with k for the identification of the input and output. Okay, we talked about the search keys. So fine. The next thing was how we are going to build up a index. How we are going to roll down to the index. When it needs to be rolled down to an index, the first and foremost item was to it can be organized with hashing, and another way was to look with the B plus trees. So when we need to look with a B plus tree item, the mid item, we will call it as a root, and the two items we will call it as the middle nodes, and the bottom items we call it as leaf nodes. As these are leaf nodes, we technically call them as non-leaf nodes. So how are these leaf nodes made? Means they are going to be sorted out with a search key. They are going to be sorted out with a search key. So how to describe what is leaf node? How to describe what is non-leaf node? So when we say it is a leaf node, we call them as data path. When we are talking about the base root node, or when we are talking about the middle node, these items we call them as a indexes. One we are going to call it as an index item, another we are going to call it as a data item. So a leaf node, it is going to make up with a data items, and they are going to be sorted by the search key. And the second item was, we have the index items. So these index items, they are pasted at the middle node, and they are pasted at the root node. So now the question was, how you are going to organize the indexing. So in order to organize the indexing, I have P0 and I have K1. So every component is going to have two direct searches. We have some K1, K2, they call it as keys. P1, P2, we will call it as pages. We will call them as pages. So at every page we take up the indexing, and thereby we distribute it towards root or middle or the end. So in this way we are going to bring down the binary plus tree. We call it as P plus trees. Yeah, as mentioned, this is a general example. I can write up 17, and towards the left hand side I have the things which are less than 17, and towards the right hand side I am going to have the things which are greater than 17. And you can see there was a connectivity, there is a connection between data nodes, and that is nothing but at the leaf node. So there is connections at the leaf node, or we can say there are connections at the data node. So that is the first and foremost item we are going to discuss it up. And now you can see that 5 is less than 17, 13 is less than 17, 27 is greater than 17, and 30 is greater than 17. So in this model we are linking up the things. Now if I'm going to have here 5 and 13, so this element we call it as a pointer location, where it fixes up the link between first and the next node. Again you can see at this point of time 2 and 3, they are less than 5, so that's the reason why we put this. And of course we need to have a splitting mechanism when there was some overflow. So when there is a overflow of a node, obviously we will split up the data. So we can see here between 5 and 13, what are the items we have? We have 2, 3, 5, 7, and 8. Okay, so these are going to be the items between 5, and these are going to be the items between 13. So this was the range what we are going to give up. Similarly, I can show you here the items between 27 and the items between 30. So this is minimum range and maximum range, what items you are going to have. So I can put these items, uh, that is between 27, another 27 and 29 are going to be placed, and similarly I can put between 17 and between 27. So now I can put up all the items that are in between these two items. That is what we are going to write up the things. So in general, what are the operations you can make up for the binary plus tree, that is B plus tree? So the operations, it can be either insert or delete. So now I just want to find where was 28. So one, I can do searching. Two, I can do an indexing, and three, I can do deleting. So any of the operations can be take over, searching, deleting, and inserting. Any of the operations can be take over. Fine. Now find 28. So I have to move to the um 17th item. Then I will search between 27 and item. Then I will move here. Then I can say not available. Then again I can say find 19. So again I can go to 17. Then I will move between 20 and 30. Then I will search between the items. So I get 29. So in this way we are building up the relations with the binary plus tree here. The next way of representing the things will be the hash based indexing. So in hash based indexing, we look with the equality selection. We use a equal to operator. So that is where the hash based indexing is going to be occurred. So when coming to this indexing, we have a lot of buckets here. So what I can tell up was the numericals what we are going to be maintained. So those numericals we will call them as a buckets. So it is ninth bucket, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and first bucket. So now assume I am going to say 565. So I can say 5, it is going to be the bucket name, and 65, it is going to be the value. So obviously it moves to this fifth bucket. Similarly, if I am going to say 212, so 2, it is going to indicate the bucket number, and 12, it is going to indicate the value here. So in this way we are going to fill up the buckets. So to organize the things into buckets, etc., we need to have a equality. So what is equality? Is 5 is equals to 5, is 2 is equals to 2. You need to make some equality selection. So to propagate that equality selection, we are using this concept with bucket. It is going to be used with the primary page and with a no overflow. So with we'll say plus 0, or we are going to say with the no overflow. The next comes the word called as a hashing functions. So in this hashing functions, we will call here as h. So h we are going to call here as h of r is equals to bucket. So we will arrange this buckets with the data entries and the search field R. So R we are going to call it as a search field. So in order to compute a hash, we will look up at the search field and we will see to which bucket that item is going to belong. So there are three ways how a data entries they are going to be searched. The very first item was directly we will give the k value. The second way of searching the things, it will be the k, that is nothing but the key value. followed by the number of record IDs. So the number of record IDs which are available for searching, so those we are going to call them as record ID. So this we are going to say it is only for one item. But if I am going to work with some multiple items, so obviously we need to go with the third approach. So the third approach was, we will call it as a list of record IDs. So we will do with the list of record IDs with the search key. So this is what we need to have when we are working with key mechanism. So in general, key mechanism, it can be posed up with three questions. One, with a data record, that the key value pair with the data record, we call it as K. Two, we are going to call it as with the list of record IDs. Three, it can be perpendicular to only one record. So in this way, we will work with the hash based content. So let us look at a quick recap of what we have done for today. So today we have started the revision part of Unit 6. So there we talked about storage and indexing. So thereby we talked about the disk, tapes and file organization, which it is going to be sequential and random organization, and it is totally propagated by the buffer management content. Next, we talked about the random access file, a sorted file and an indexing. So for indexing, we call that we need to have a search key. So how is this search key generated? Means it can be a unique key which can be taken up from a column, and most probably it should be the best one to get it. So obviously we take the minimum value, that itself will be the subset of the main item. And the other way of looking at the indexing will be the binary B plus tree indexing. There we do put the things into root node, leaf node, and to the so root node, middle node, and to the leaf node. So in general, the index are provoked at the middle node and the root node, but the data item, it is going to be pulled up at the root level. And how is this index is going to organize? Means it is having a key value pair, as mentioned earlier, that P1 to P2 they are going to be pages, K1 to K10 they are going to be the number of keys to be taken up. So how is this B plus tree organized? It is going to be organized in an ascending order, and towards the left everything will be less than the node what it is pointing, and towards the right it will, the node item what it is going to be pointing to the right, that it is going to be the greater than element. And after B plus tree, the third way of indexing was the hash based indexing, where we get some collection of buckets and they are going to be verified, and a hash code is going to be generated, and that generation of a hash code is represented as an R, and it is going to give up the hash function. So how is this hash function generating the keys, etc.? Was, for every data entry it is recording three ways of things. The very first way it is going to pull up with K. The second way it is going to pull up with a single record, that is K and record ID of data. And third, it is going to pull up with the K and few records, that is what we call it as a list of row IDs. So these are the three alternative ways where we can see that a subset of the relation can be as a key. So that is all for the inputs for today. So we can pause our discussion for today